What would you do if the woman you loved, the mother of your children, shattered your entire world with a single, careless text message? I never thought I'd ask myself that question, not after 15 years of marriage, 2 beautiful kids, and a life built on rock-solid trust. The night everything broke was a Tuesday, 2 a.m., the soft glow of her phone screen illuminating the betrayal. I was restless, couldn't sleep, and reached for her phone on the nightstand just to check the time. A notification popped up, a name I didn't recognize, followed by words that punched the air out of my lungs. "Can't wait for our next business trip, my love. Miss you already." My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat of disbelief and agony. The world tilted, and I knew with a sickening certainty that my life would never be the same. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The humiliation hit me first, a tidal wave of shame that threatened to drown me. My wife, Sarah, the woman I'd built a home with in a quiet Dallas suburb, was cheating. The text was from a man named Mark, a colleague she'd mentioned once or twice, always dismissively. I watched her sleep, her face serene, and felt a cold rage begin to simmer beneath the surface of my shock. The next few days were a blur of forced smiles and internal screams. I noticed everything now, the late-night calls she'd take in the other room, the sudden interest in her appearance for work events, the way her eyes would dart away when I asked about her day. She became distant, her touch mechanical, her laughter hollow. Our home, once a sanctuary, felt like a stage where we performed a grotesque play of normalcy. I started digging. It began subtly, checking her phone records, cross-referencing dates with her overtime claims. Then came the receipts: a fancy dinner at the Mansion restaurant on Turtle Creek, a weekend stay at the Jewel Hotel downtown. Both on nights she claimed to be working late. Each piece of evidence was a shard of glass, cutting deeper. Sarah, meanwhile, grew colder and more manipulative. When I tried to talk, she'd turn it around, accusing me of being paranoid, controlling. "You're imagining things, David," she'd say, her voice dripping with feigned concern. "Maybe you're just stressed." She made me feel like I was losing my mind, gaslighting me, with such practiced ease that I almost believed her. She felt untouchable, protected by her lies and my perceived weakness. There were nights I'd sit in our garage, the engine off, the silence deafening, tears streaming down my face. I was broken. The man who had once been a loyal husband, a devoted father, was a shell. But beneath the despair, a new resolve began to harden. I wouldn't just confront her, I would dismantle her world, piece by agonizing piece. I started gathering proof meticulously. I hired a private investigator, a discreet man named Frank, from a small office on Elm Street. He provided me with irrefutable photographic evidence. Sarah and Mark hand in hand, kissing in a parking garage near their office building, then later entering a discreet apartment complex in Uptown. I consulted with a divorce attorney, a sharp woman named Ms. Evans, who laid out the legal landscape. I opened a separate bank account, moved half our joint savings, and secured my assets. I was building a cage, brick by brick, and Sarah was walking right into it. The public exposure was the final act. It wasn't a dramatic confrontation in a restaurant, but a calculated, devastating reveal. I filed for divorce, citing adultery, and presented the evidence to the court. The news spread like wildfire through our social circle. Sarah, who had always prided herself on her perfect image, was suddenly the subject of whispers and pitying glances. Her colleagues, who had once admired her, now looked at her with disdain. Her business trips became a cruel joke. The legal proceedings were brutal. Ms. Evans ensured that Sarah's infidelity was laid bare for all to see. The judge, unmoved by Sarah's tearful pleas, granted me full custody of our children, citing her moral turpitude and emotional neglect. The financial settlement left her with barely enough to start over, a stark contrast to the lavish life she had grown accustomed to. Then came the day my mother showed up. She had always adored Sarah, but when she learned the truth, her love turned to ice. She stood on our porch, her face a mask of fury, demanding her grandchildren back. Not from me, but from the woman who had betrayed us all. Sarah, standing behind me, tried to speak, but no words came out. Her voice, once so confident and manipulative, was gone, choked by the weight of her own destruction. She had lost everything: her family, her reputation, her financial security. She was completely ruined. I watched her from the window as she drove away, a small, defeated figure in a car, packed with the few belongings she had left. The house was quiet, the children were safe in their rooms, and the silence was heavy, cold. She never saw it coming, but I did. The end.